Welcome to We Are City of Five Nations podcast. I'm Daniel Shawnee, and my guests today are Shawnee Forward peeps, Lindie VanAntwerp and Jeremy Davidson. Tomorrow, we will have internationally acclaimed artist and native of City of Five Nations, Tony Tiger, discussing with his friends, amongst other things, a show he curated, Return from Exile, Contemporary Southeastern Indian Art. And it's a show that I saw, and man, it was wonderful. Today, I am excited to be here and in this moment. And we have Lindie and Jeremy. Hey guys, welcome to City of Five Nations podcast.
Hi, Thank you for having us. Hello.
Well, you guys are some of the most efficient community builders, if I may say so myself, here in the City of Five Nations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Jeremy, for those in our community and abroad, give us a quick description of your organization with emphasis on forward.
Shawnee Forward is focused on economic development, workforce development, educational enrichment, and really developing a business community here in Shawnee.
That sounds like canned. You did that perfectly.
It's there. It's just ready to go. I mean, we get the opportunity to talk with people every day about what's happening in Shawnee. And so it's not that it's always ready to go. It's that's what we do every day.
I love it. But Jeremy, I'm going to talk with Lindie just for a second, and I'm going to kick you backstage. And Lindie, okay. You ready? I want you, if you would, Lindie, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you grew up here. You have a strong family name here. And in our community, what or whose influence do you feel makes you who you are today?
Oh, goodness. I had the wonderful honor of knowing all of my great-grandparents.
Oh.
So my great-grandparents lived an acre away from me growing up. They were born in 1918. I spent every day with them until I was about 12. And I think their foundation for just being kind people, they had been through a lot. I mean, when the Spanish flu came through, that was the year they were born. They went through the Depression and racism and, all the things that come with Native Americans gaining a space in American society. So learning from them was a really, a giant stepping stone in being just approaching life with kindness and understanding and tolerance and just having a more gentle way around people.
I'll tell you what, that's a beautiful story. When I was a kid, there was only one of my grandparents alive. And that influenced me so much and I was almost envious when I moved to the City of Five Nations. And I found that maybe not great-grandparents, but I found that to be a common theme amongst many of the people who were secure in our area, was that they had ancestry that
Sure.
They could grow up with.
Sure. Absolutely. I am very grateful for that and very lucky to know that many of my ancestors and that many generations, and to understand kind of how our growth from this area has kind of come full circle to the generations that I have today, my nieces and nephews.
And that's such a tradition with 4 of the nations that are right here within our community. When switching gears, when you came to the organization, Shawnee Forward, and it was a change from maybe what you knew in the past in business, what immediate ideas did you have to help increase membership, Lindie, which is your area of responsibility? And were those ideas successful, or has it been a practice of tweaking the plan as you go along?
Gotcha. So I think whenever I first signed on for Shawnee Forward, it was a lot of I wanted to be accessible. So membership with Shawnee Forward, the company that I came from, was a great member. And so I kind of understood a little bit of what Shawnee Forward was about from that. But I just wanted my platform to be, if you want to get a hold of me, that you can, that if you have something you want to talk to with, I don't know, regards to your business or regards to getting a bigger return on your investment. I wanted people to know that they could reach me, that they could get in touch with Shawnee Forward, that we could have an open line of communication. And honestly, I tweak it every day. We talk membership every single day. And especially with what's going on right now with the shutdowns, how do I continue to reach my businesses and reach my membership base, and make them feel appreciated, and let them know that we're trying to band together and help them get through just as much as we are.
Well, I can see it in your eyes. You're very welcoming, and you make me very comfortable when you talk to me. And so if you were out to recruit a new member, somebody who doesn't know anything about Shawnee Forward, what are the benefits that you really have found the membership appreciates that you would tell someone who knows nothing?
Oh gosh, man, we have so much going on right now that's exciting. I love my ambassadors group. They are just a fantastic group of professionals that get together, and we really just lift each other up. And I think that is just, man, that's a shining star with Shawnee Forward right now, is my ambassadors and the connections that you can make. Because every member is allowed access to our ambassadors group. I think that those connections, I love watching, a new business show up, and we make that introduction to another business. And then, a few weeks down the line, they have blossomed into a partnership, and they're, marketing that on social media. And I'm seeing them kind of collaborate in their own way. And that connection was made through our organization. I think that is one of those shining examples that I love to see. I love to make that connection and just kind of create a collaborative business community here in Shawnee.
You could not have said that to a better person, because I had been, part of the Chamber of Commerce many years ago, over a decade ago, and been a part of the ambassadors, and, just kind of went blah, 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 blah. Sure. And I showed up because I really liked the environment that Carrie Berlin had put together over at 20 West Main. And with that business environment, it just so uptown and big town, and for anybody with a small business. And I just wanted to go support Carrie there for that co-working space. And when I walked into the room with your ambassadors, I felt the energy. It was so wonderful to again feel that within our community, in the young businesses and also established businesses in the room. And then the presentation that you and Jeremy gave knocked it out of the park. Carrie had pink flamingos everywhere. She knocked it out of the park. It was like one of those parties that you leave and you go, God, when's the next one?
It is. It's our business church. We get together and we just lift each other up and throw great energy out there. And we get fed again the next month with what we've all taken from that meeting and what we've all continued to do in our circle of influence.
So whether you're a member or not a member, if you see Shawnee Forward Ambassador meeting, go to it and just experience for the first time. If you decide you like it, good. If you decide you don't, go back to work. You'll have a good time at that meeting, though. And Lindie, 24 months from now, 48 months from now, what kind of goals do you have set for yourself with your organization? What is success going to look like?
Because of the world's events right now, we are really trying to clarify what membership is, and clarify that structure, clarify, what can we 100% deliver upon. Right now I can't exactly say, man, I'm going to show up at your front door and, we're going to really get down to business. That isn't something that we can do at the moment, unfortunately. but we're trying to create that structure so that 24 to 48 months from now, we have a solid set of deliverables that we can 100% tell our clients that they can count on us. They know that if that service is something they need, that they have it with us. I really hope that our membership continues to grow. We've gained new members just within this last month with all of this crazy stuff in the world going on, just because we're trying so hard to continue to advocate for our businesses and make sure that our essential businesses are still being supported by our community. And man, I want our ambassadors to continue to grow. I don't know that there's a ceiling on the ambassadors. I think that we are always, Jeremy and I and Tim have all kind of been this, give us your ideas, give us your, we're open to collaboration. We try to, accept everybody with this giant open heart, and everyone's skill set is different. And I just think that membership, gosh, it can be so much. And at the same time, I don't want it to be muddied by a bunch of words. I want there to be, this clear vision of what you can get from Shawnee forward. And I want that to be something you can depend on. So 24 to 48 months down the road, I want every ambassador to be able to say, you know what, this is what you get. And, their own sales force in a lot of ways. And that's my goal.
Well, membership follows your leadership. And Lindie, we are so fortunate to have a native daughter like you helping us to understand how coming together we become stronger. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I bet that success comes to life for you. And now I'm going to bring Jeremy back, and I'm going to throw you backstage. How about that?
Sounds good.
All month long, we have guests lined up to talk about community building. Please look for us and join the conversation, whether live or on demand. And thank you to our sponsors, which allows us to do what we do. And we have Jeremy back with us. And Jeremy, man, how do you top Lindie? She's just like the sweetest thing.
It's hard. She's got so many things going, and she just brings so much great energy and work to our organization. We're really lucky to have Lindie and Tim as well here with us doing the economic development work. I had the opportunity this year to travel around the U.S. to some meetings, and it was amazing when I would mention that I was from Shawnee that people would say, "Do you know Tim Berg? He does amazing work," or that he helped mentor them in their process of becoming an economic developer for their community. So I feel like we've got an amazing team here at Shawnee Forward working together. To move Shawnee forward. And that's it sounds like such a tagline and such a pitch, but I really think new innovative things are happening, and it's because of the people that we've got on our team and the people that are around us in the business community that reach out to us and communicate what we could be doing together.
Yes, and that team became stronger the day that you arrived. And Tim will be joining us. He was going to join with us today, but he couldn't. He tied up. But we'll be circling back around and talking with Tim Berg, the third party in the Shawnee Forward team. But Jeremy, just before coming to the City of Five Nations, I know you were wearing many hats in your own successful business and endeavors. Tell us about your personal story. What or whose influence do you feel makes you who you are today?
Immediately I thought of my dad. He's like a force in my life. Watching him grow up, he coached my ball teams, baseball and soccer, and really encouraged us, did whatever needed to be done so that my brother and I could do whatever we wanted to do. And even now, I've been thinking about in this moment as people are transitioning jobs and doing things, I can think back to a time when my dad transitioned out of a role to become a firefighter for Oklahoma City, and the work that he put in to study and And he was, he was in his late 30s when he did that. And it's not a time when a lot of people do that, but it was work. And so he really instilled a strong work ethic into me to accomplish these things, and watching him study. And so, I was at an impressionable, kind of tween age years when all that was taking place. And so to be able to watch my dad really study for tests and to dig in and to get excited about learning, those are things that I think that energize me. Like now, I love change. I kind of thrive in that moment. And I love to read. I love to watch new things and learn. And I think I picked that up from him, and I think it pays off in kind of the way ideas form. And I just love being around new things. So I immediately thought of my dad when I saw that question.
And Jeremy, what a gift that is to have somebody around the house, around you, 24/7, really in spirit and body so often, to be able to help nurture us through, really our adolescence and in those stages in which we gain our strength. What a testimony that is for your father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just been excellent. I got to go over and spend time with him last night. He's retired now, and so he will frequently come over. Like, we were rototilling a garden last night and power washing, and it's great just to get to hang out and talk about life and the kids. And, it's a great relationship that we have.
Well, that is wonderful, actually, to hear. I love it. Now, transitioning a little bit into business, when coming on board with Shawnee Forward, what were some of the immediate obstacles that you observed and that you knew the organization would have to overcome to be successful?
I think pulling together whether it's I want to talk about like literature that we send out, spec sheets on Shawnee, sites that are available. Who is Shawnee Forward? Was a question. And so putting those pieces together, I put a ton of time into our website, and I spend a lot of time thinking about systems and how we can create systems that really, in a lot of ways, free up our time to spend more quality time with our members. So if I can figure out a way to automate a system here at Shawnee Forward, and the results enable us to do that, then we're going to invest time there. And that's like, even in this time, we're getting to spend a lot of fun time. I consider it really fun. It's like a math project looking at systems. And so I've really enjoyed that process. And I think we've overcome a lot of obstacles where things just didn't exist. And so we're having to create things, be it, like a website or a system or an event. And it's really good to have I feel like we've got a great group of people in our immediate business community surrounding us that I can bounce ideas off and say, what if we did this? What would happen if we did this? And so, and I really enjoy it. I'm starting to get feedback, really I want to say unsolicited feedback. Like, Jeremy, I've got this idea. What do you think if we did that? And I'm really enjoying. I feel like that's a kind of environment that will grow great things for our business community.
I agree. And the website we're going to take a look at in just a little while. You are one of the most talented and creative people I've witnessed in the public eye here in our community, Jeremy. And I love now that you guys have made yourself more accessible there down on the ground floor of your building. It just feels good. And there's something else you developed that you really took to the next level. And let's talk about that a little bit now. The newsletter you developed, your philosophy of what to include and when in that newsletter. Also, how does someone sign up for it before we stop talking about it? Let me know about that.
So our newsletter is actually a bi-weekly newsletter. It goes out on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so here's one from last week that we've got going on. So coronavirus impact. We try to add links to important information. And then the articles are actually populated from our website from our blog. So most of the things that you see in this come from our website, but it's a kind of a system we've got set up where I can do one thing and it just scales our marketing out. And so you may actually hit that. I was going to say, you may hit that past issues up in the upper left, and it'll take you to the today's issue that went out on the 7th.
So you send them out every week?
I send them out twice a week. And it's actually could be, it's a mixture of the same or different content between Tuesday and Thursday. We really try to push a lot of information as a clearinghouse. So like the virtual job fair that we have going on, we're trying to connect employers with candidates. We know there's a lot of displacement and transitioning at this time. So it feels like this is the right time to push into workforce needs. And so we like to talk about how people can connect with us. So we've got posts about what's happening at Shawnee Forward. We talk about what's happening with our membership. We actually are working on a system that will probably be ready at the end of this week for business community members to submit articles for review for this. We'd like to have some guest posts on this to help drive content. And I think really the content piece is at the core of what we're trying to do. We're trying to create content about what is happening in Shawnee and pushing it out as many places as we can so that other people, we have several key goals. And one of those is to increase, to build the business community. And I think the more people recognize the opportunity and excitement in Shawnee, the more people are going to be drawn in, the more people are going to visit, the more business excitement and entrepreneurism that will go. And so we try to highlight those things and show people that, and it's just fun to live here, to work here, to hang out here. There's just a lot of really great things happening. And so this newsletter is a platform to spread that far and wide. Well,
how does somebody sign up for it, Jeremy?
If you go to our website at the top, it will actually, there's a place in the middle part of the homepage that you can sign up. There's a place in the menu that you can sign up for the newsletter. And at the very top of the website, it says join newsletter.
Perfect. And you are watching the We Are City of Five Nations podcast, and we continue today our series of 30 days of community building. If you have questions for us or our guests, Lindie VanAntwerp and Jeremy Davidson of Shawnee Forward, type those questions in and we will respond if we can. Okay, guys, both of you back?
Hello.
Hello.
Very, very good.
Hey, Daniel, can I highlight some things in the menu there?
Let's come back to this. We'll come back to it. Because I have a different question for you.
Okay.
And it's for the both of you to answer, but it's going to be share a favorite story, give you a second to think about it, of how Shawnee Forward has had a direct impact as told to you by a member in someone's business. So give us a second-hand or second-person story of success, one shared with you or that you witnessed the magic happen. And we'll start ladies first with Lindie.
Okay. Probably one of my favorites. When I first started, they were brand new, I want to say, within the last few months of opening. Coffee and Crafts. If you have not been there, they have just changed their structure drastically in the last year. And I want to say just walking in and getting to know the owners and getting to know the clientele that go in there and kind of what their business model and mission was and their vision for where they wanted to be. We got them hooked up with us, got them hooked up with a couple of people. Like, I think my favorite one was South Central Industries. They met at a ambassadors meeting, and fast forward a few months, and South Central Industries hosted our ambassadors for one of our meetings, and Coffee and Crafts was there making coffee for our ambassadors because they had made that connection, because they had collaborated with each other. They decided that they were going to provide coffee and pastries for our meeting. And they just took it to the next level all on their own. And that connection right there has spurred into more exposure for coffee and crafts, more exposure for South Central Industries. And they like to play off of each other. And I think that teamwork and that collaboration is ultimately our goal, because they can just take that and run with it. And sky's the limit from there.
But I'll tell you, we had Tina Hanna of South Central Industries with us just yesterday, and what a sweetheart she is. And they were talking about a different partnership with Lacey Holt over at Legacy Parenting. What a anchor I believe South Central Industries is right there on Main Street, and just the wonderful people that work over there.
Absolutely.
And Coffee and Crafts, of course. Great. I love it right there in the middle of Main Street, and they have done a fabulous job with their remodel.
Yep.
Jeremy, you got a story for us where the magic happened in front of you?
I think right now we're kind of watching that with the virtual job fair that we've got going on. We're getting great feedback from the university career development and from employers who are posting their hiring opportunities right now. And so the feedback has been really good. I feel really great about connecting people in this time. It's a workforce issue that we've got going on, and really directly we had people that were even before this current crisis who were hiring and expanding. And so it's great to be able to provide an avenue for people to meet in their time of need. And so the feedback has come in that we love this platform. It's really easy to post our opportunities, and the way that it gets pushed out is really visible. We've got a post with a local manufacturer right now that has just got thousands of views and hundreds of engagements on it. And so they've said, hey, we are witnessing more applications because of this platform, and we really are excited about what that could bring to our community.
Yes, there are so many wonderful jobs available. My son in the industry just got picked up a job right here over at the old Central Plastics George Fisher Central Plastics now. Mm-hmm. And so just so proud of what can happen here in the City of Five Nations. And let's roll that website back up now. And Jeremy, I'm going to get with you to be able to take us wherever you want. But Lindie, I'd like for you to pick something as we kind of peruse this first page. You, who did not develop this website like our creative right above you, Jeremy, did. What is it that really you like when you work on your own website or you visit your own website?
It has a great layout. It's easy to use. I have really admired the way that he has taken the task of being kind of an informational clearinghouse for the COVID-19 crisis and put it up there for it's a hub. If you are interested in the education part of enduring all this, it's there. If you're a business and you need a business assessment or information on the SBA loans, it's there. It's I think that he really kind of thought of everyone whenever he was putting those changes in there. And then the virtual job fair it is also ever evolving. I think that we are very comfortable with being uncomfortable in our office. I think that might be something that we both kind of thrive on. So just collaborating on that virtual job fair and what that's going to look like. I mean, that's Jeremy.
It's awesome.
He's the superhero when it comes to that stuff. It's amazing to watch him work.
And why I didn't want to just dive into it, Jeremy, is because I did want to have a moment to be able to let everybody see just how creative and how pleasant you have done on your work with this digital place.
Thank you.
I don't know that people realize, but I mean, you do all of it. From taking the pictures, and I love your selfie, it looks good, man. But all of the pictures, the video work that you do, you're just a natural. in creative. And now I know you want to point out something that's pretty unique here. Take us to it.
Yeah, I want to hit the menu. We have got really great resources for people. You can see economic development, our blog, membership directory is actually one of the most visited places on our website as people look for services. And so I like to talk about that. There's places to talk about joining, get to learn who we are, the event space. But, really we try to target what we put on there to be actionable. And so if we were to hit that menu and then pop that economic development tab right there, you're going to see a lot of links. We talk about Shawnee, so we're trying to hit not just let people, like, we're not just targeting people that are thinking about moving to Shawnee, but there are people who would consider moving their business, site selectors, and we want to consider what information they want to get to. And so Tim has been a great resource in helping us understand what those things are, what are they looking for. And so even in that menu tree, there's a lot of things that deal with workforce and demographics and what people are looking for when they consider a community for their business.
Well, you guys have a little bit of everything for any business that's within our community. And it's evident to see with the work that you guys have been doing since the changeover to Shawnee Forward. And we're proud of you both. We're proud of Tim. We're proud of the efforts of your board and getting it all together. And now we're going to go sappy for our final question, just a little bit. But I would like for you guys to talk about, there is so much going on that you two alone on that chamber side are dealing with. So you get to see each other a little bit differently than the other. So I want you to tell me something that endears me or that tells me why I would like to meet the other person. So Jeremy, I'm going to start with you, and I want you to tell us something about Lindie that would just make us as a community want to meet Lindie.
Lindie is like so caring and thoughtful with people. She gives them her presence and her time, and that's just like unearned. It's just like you came into the space and here's what you get for free. And so I think that is the best thing that I can say about her. And that's what makes her a great person to be in our organization for membership. Because when she walks in the door and meets people, like it's a connection, not at a business level, but on a personal level. And that's what's really important to us is like relationships is the driver. We don't feel driven by dollars, but we know that relationships are what matter. And she is a relationship machine, and people feel that when they're in her presence.
Yes, it transcends, the normal, and I would echo that. Wonderful. Okay, Lindie,
All right.
Your turn. Let's talk about Jeremy.
Jeremy Davidson. And, I am very lucky to have Jeremy as my coworker, as my teammate. And, the one thing that I can say about Jeremy is, number one, he's innovative, but number two, he is all in. He bought in when he moved to Shawnee. He moved his family here, his wife and 3 kids, and they have just feet first into the Shawnee community and really has been able to understand the depth and amazingness of Shawnee in such a short time, and then has been able to turn that around and communicate that through all of his talents with our website and with, what he does with outreach and our Shawnee Proud videos. That's just, 100% Jeremy sitting there going, you know what? I like where I'm at. This town is cool. Like, let's put this heart out for everyone to see. And I think that him just being able to translate his immediate love for Shawnee and really buy into our community like he has is something that Shawnee Ford needs. and we're really lucky to have him.
We are City of Five Nations Believe. Communities filled with individuals foreign to one another, coming together to create deeper, truer understanding of each other is going to drive this entire world to a more positive human experience. And both of you guys, man, foreign to some, favorites of many, Lindie and Jeremy, you guys knock it out of the park.
Thank you. We love what you're doing here with this platform and around our community. We're glad that we could be a part of today with you.
Absolutely.
Well, it was great talking with both of you today as well. Thank you for being here, and we're going to kick you out now and go into our final spirit because we're going to talk about tomorrow. You guys have a great day.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
No.
Tomorrow at noon, you will not want to miss native City of Five Nation, internationally acclaimed artist and curator Tony Tiger will be with us, along with two of his workmates, Chickasaw Indian and professor from John Brown University, Aaron Shaw, and citizen of Muskogee Creek Nation, Seven Springs studio artist, educator, facilitator, Bobby C. Martin, will be with us to discuss their current fascinating project, Altars of Reconciliation. You won't want to miss that trio. Again, thank you very much to Lindie and Jeremy of Shawnee Forward for being our guests today. And with that, please remember, in the City of Five Nations, together we build community, one season at a time. Thanks again for being with us, and join us again tomorrow.